Freedom and security are mutually exclusive. If you've never read the Bible or even parts of it, I would highly recommend it, even those who are not Christian or Jewish. In the book of Exodus, the Israelites are slaves in Egypt. After Moses communes with God, he is told to free the Israelites from Pharaoh. Through Moses, God works miracles and plagues upon the Egyptian people until Pharaoh relents to freeing the Israelites and sending them off into the desert. Here's where it gets interesting. The Jewish people have been begging and crying out to God for freedom. They had been beaten and scorched in the Egyptian heat, toiling away as slaves and suffering each and every day. Now, by the hand of God, they were free to enter the world and make their own fate. With the protection of the highest power in the universe, they could roam across the desert to find the promised land that they were destined to enjoy. But after only a few days of freedom, they began to complain. They sulked and groaned to Moses that they would die of starvation out in the desert and that it was better to be slaves in Egypt because at least they had food and a house to sleep in. Any sane person feels a bit of incredulity when reading that. We can't imagine not wanting freedom, especially here in America. But if you think deeper, it's pretty reflective of human nature. Most people don't really want freedom. We want security. We cannot have both because every step towards security is a step away from our own care for ourselves and into someone else's care and authority. Freedom means we inherit all the choices and also the consequences of those choices, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So many of us look at the two opposites and pick security. We want to be taken care of, and we want to know where our bed is and when our next meal is. Freedom carries risk. It means that you're extending yourself and living on your own labor and success. It can be frightening. But what's important to keep in mind is that suffering and risk will happen whether we have security or freedom. The only difference is that when you choose freedom, you choose your suffering and how to respond to it. When you choose security, your suffering will come at the hand of someone else in one form or another. Even the slaves had security of food and shelter. So do cows before the slaughter. So when you go about life and pick your career or your community or cast your vote, remember that freedom and security are mutually exclusive. Choose wisely.